before dawn on the second Wednesday of October to a silence that tasted like iron. The city outside my window held its breath. Even the traffic lights blinked slower, as if the world itself feared to move. I told myself I would not think of her name, but thoughts of Wednesday. Harrington crawled into my head like ants through cracks. She had been my neighbor, my confidant, and occasionally something more dangerous. She loved storms, collected secrets, and promised me once, "I never leave without a proper goodbye." That promise haunted me after the night the balcony collapsed and she fell 3 stories into darkness. No one ever found her body, only a black shoe, wet with rain. By evening, I felt her everywhere, in the creak of the hallway boards, in the scent of damp roses that drifted through a closed window, in the faint reflection that lingered in the mirror after I turned away. I brewed coffee strong enough to burn my tongue and watched the clock. At exactly midnight, 3 delicate knocks sounded on my door. I froze, counting each beat of my heart. When I finally opened it, the hallway stretched empty, yet a trail of wet, bare footprints led toward my bedroom. I followed the prints, the smell of cold earth growing sharper with every step until they stopped at the closet. The knob turned with a deliberate click, though I hadn't touched it. Darkness pressed outward like breath. From inside came a whisper, "Did you miss me?" My phone vibrated violently. On the screen, an unknown number displayed a single word. "Wednesday," I answered. Static hissed. Then her laugh, low, familiar, cut through, followed by fingernails scraping wood. Silence returned, heavy and absolute. Sleep never came. Morning light felt thin and false. At work, my reflection lagged behind my movements. A black feather appeared in my coat pocket, though I own no feathered things. When I returned home that evening, the air inside was 10 degrees colder than the street. On the kitchen table lay a black rose streaked with fresh soil. Beneath it, a note in her looping hand. "Let's play hide and seek." Midnight. I packed a bag, ready to flee, but something anchored me, a mix of dread and fascination. At 11:50, the building exhaled a long, cold breath. The lights flickered, then died. The smell of rain and rot thickened. A child's giggle floated down the hallway. A silhouette formed at the far end, tall, elegant, hair like a curtain of midnight. She stepped closer with measured grace, eyes shining like wet obsidian. "You promised we'd never be apart," she said, her voice layered with soil and shadow. "You lied." I pressed against the wall. Her figure blurred, dissolved, and reformed inches from my face. Her breath touched my ear, cold as winter stone. "Come with me," she whispered. "There's room for 2. The floor softened like wet earth. A pale hand slid from the darkness below, fingers icy and strong, pulling me toward the scent of a fresh grave. I tore free and ran. The hallway stretched impossibly long, each doorway yawning wider as if the building itself wanted to swallow me. Behind me, footsteps multiplied. 1 pair, then 2, then dozens, until the air trembled with unseen pursuers. Children's voices sang an off-key lullaby. "Sleep, little shadow, sleep. Wednesday keeps the promise deep." I burst into the stairwell. The metal railing dripped water through the sky outside was dry. Every step groaned like a warning bell. Something cold tugged at my coat. I wrenched free and stumbled to the front door. Outside, the storm had vanished. Stars glittered with unnatural brightness. Across the street, Wednesday stood beneath a flickering lamp, her black dress fluttering though no wind stirred. She smiled, a slow curve of lips too dark to be human. "This isn't over," she said without sound. The words slid directly into my mind, icy and certain. I blinked, and she was gone, leaving only the echo of her laughter, a sound like earth falling on a coffin. I thought it ended there, but when I turned my phone face down, the screen lit on its own. A single notification pulsed. Next Wednesday. I powered it off. It turned on again, letters stretching across the glass like roots through soil you can't hide forever. The next days became a slow unraveling. Mirrors showed corners of rooms I didn't own. My voicemail filled with static, punctuated by her whispering my name. Every night, at exactly 12:23, I heard 3 knocks, no matter where I slept: hotel, friend's couch, even my car. Footprints of damp soil appeared on any floor I touched. I tried to escape the city, driving until sunrise, but the horizon bent in impossible ways, and somehow I always ended up back at my own street. On the 3rd night, a storm gathered without clouds, lightning flashing in a clear sky. From the thunder, a voice formed. I told you, proper goodbye. Windows shattered inward. Black roses rained through broken glass. The scent of earth drowned the air. And then she stepped through the doorway of my car as if the frame were water. Her eyes were endless pits. You belong to Wednesday now, she said, her smile widening beyond the edges of her face. Time is a circle. Every Wednesday you return. Every Wednesday I rise. The ground beneath the car liquefied into mud. Fingers, hers, reached through the floorboards. I screamed and leapt out, running into a landscape that no longer resembled the city. The streets curved into spirals, lined with doors that opened onto black voids. Behind each door, a clock struck midnight again and again, each chime a heartbeat of the same endless Wednesday. She followed, her footsteps echoing from every direction at once. No goodbye, she sang, her voice multiplying, filling the sky. No end, only Wednesday. I ran until the world collapsed into darkness and the smell of soil. When I finally stumbled to the ground, her cold hand touched my cheek. Now, she whispered, we begin again.